When a Supreme Court judge who has probably seen everything describes a criminal as deprived, you know they have to have done something exceptionally awful. And in this case, a woman definitely fits under that description because someone who was trusted to look after a vulnerable minor ended up doing the most horrific things you can imagine. Now let's get into it. On Sunday, February 2016, the police and emergency services were called to a family's apartment. It was almost 10 p.m. by then. They were trying to save a life of a young boy who was barely old enough to walk. The boy's name was Anthony. They rushed him to the hospital where they did their best to save his life. He got there just a few minutes after the call, but unfortunately, the worst had happened. Well, sadly, he passed away, apparently from cardiac arrest. Now, I can't even start to imagine how his parents were coping with the news, but even there was something else that made it even more messed up. The mother got a text from the babysitter saying the baby had fallen during the trip to Montana. Now, little Anthony's parents hadn't been with him for that entire weekend. His mom, Martha, was moving to a new apartment and had needed someone to watch him during the late February weekend. So she found a kind neighbor to take care of him. At least she thought they were. It doesn't sound like she had any idea what could happen next. Unfortunately, the woman she selected to look after little Anthony was Gloria Fields, and she didn't exactly come recommended locally. She had a bit of a sketchy reputation. One neighbor who knew her from before said, "I didn't know her as a babysitter. She's not known for being a babysitter. Everyone that knows her knows that she's unstable and does drugs." However, on that awful weekend, some red flags began to appear on Sunday morning. Worrying Anthony's mom had received a text that day from Gloria. She claimed that he had fallen while Gloria was out in Montana, but what the medical examiner reported revealed about the poor little Anthony last 3 days alive is the most shocking and upsetting part of this case. The medical examiner didn't take too long to confirm that Anthony had injuries both inside and out, and there was exactly one sick person who could have done that to him. And you remember that red flag text message? He had been knocked unconscious by that point. So, without having to look too far, the police immediately brought Gloria Fields and her boyfriend for some questioning. At first, Gloria totally blamed it on her boyfriend who had been with her the entire weekend. I mean, I have questions too, like, didn't he see what she was doing to that poor baby? But after 40 hours of police interrogation, Gloria finally admitted the truth on video. After that, the detectives went out to grab her slice of pizza. I suppose confessing to doing something that evil makes you hungry. The camera was still recording her in the room. Once they left, Gloria said, "Sorry, detectives," putting her head in the interrogation table and starting to cry, but it's impossible to feel even a bit of sorry for someone like her. On March 2016, Gloria was charged with first and second degree murder, manslaughter, assault, criminal weapon possession, and oh, let's not forget about the child endangerment, okay? All of which she denied at first. The red flags kept piling up. Gloria already had 9 prior arrests while her boyfriend had 25. She was using and smoking throughout that awful weekend. If her boyfriend didn't see what she was up to, perhaps he was just too stoned to even care. Basically, neither of them should have been anywhere near Anthony that weekend. Gloria didn't just do this to him while hidden away in the apartment. It also happened out in public, including at a used floor named Buffalo, but I guess no one who might have seen this happened to take any action. Well, it sounds like it was at least reported to authorities in the end, but by then it was far too late to help him. The charges described what she did as especially cruel and wanton, and that she was intending to inflict and torture. What she did was so messed up that Gloria's attorney seriously considered using an insanity defense plea. This means that the criminal hadn't been aware of what they were doing when they broke the law, and usually it counts if it was for just a brief moment. However, insanity is really not used as often as movies and TVs make it seem. In fact, it only comes up like 1% of court cases in the USA. And in Gloria's case, insanity just didn't stick. So even though what she did is totally abnormal and wrong, her defense team finally decided against using it. I think it came up because in the interview with the police, Gloria claimed, "I just blacked out. I was off my meds. I swear I'm not a bird person." Basically, if being off her meds made her that dangerous, there's no way she should have been anywhere near a minor, let alone looking after it. But guys, there are many people who deal with mental health issues out there who function just fine in real life, and I don't think that the substance that she was taking to get high on during her babysitting weekend helped her to keep stable. I think they made things even worse. It's amazing poor Anthony had even lasted almost 3 days with someone as sick as her. With all that, Gloria's defense team tried to make out that the police had mistreated her during the interrogation. The defense claimed that that's why Gloria had confessed everything, but the judge didn't believe a word out of those accusations against the cops, so the trial was going ahead, and the family and the detectives were determined to make sure Gloria didn't get away with any single horrible thing she did. When the case first went to court at the end of February 2016, people were furious at Gloria. Gloria was yelled at and attacked during a break in early hearing, but everyone would have to wait until early 2016 before the full hearing and sentencing went ahead. Now, I don't know why they didn't just drag her there, but she actually refused to enter the courtroom if she was going to be filmed. And the whole family was there to make sure Anthony got the justice he deserves. But the details of the case were extremely harrowing. And for most of Anthony's family, it was the first time they learned exactly what happened to him, because what she did was really unspeakable. Apart from the blunt force trauma, which means hitting his head and of course ending his life, she used objects on him which caused internal injuries. She did just about the most twisted stuff you can imagine, and poor Anthony was totally defenseless. Honestly, you probably don't want to learn about it in any more details because this is among the most disturbing cases I've ever seen. No decent person would expect anyone to be capable of doing something like that to anyone. Anthony's grandfather learned what happened for the first time at the 2018 hearing. He said, I wanted to break down because I had no idea all of that had took place. Frankly, none of it could have been very easy to listen to." If you already heard what Gloria did, You might be wondering, if she wasn't insane, then why would she do any of that? Well, don't forget she was getting high at the time, and there is some explanation for it. It's not a reason for or an excuse, but a possible very disturbing motive came up during the trial. The court played a video that detectives recorded while interrogating Gloria. Remember that she only stated to tell the truth about 40 hours of her arrest. On the confession video, she told the investigators that I really didn't mean to kill him. I just wanted to inflict pain on something else because I was in pain. I didn't know he was going to die. The intention did not cross my mind. I take responsibility. I am sorry. Jesus, that is totally chilling and kinda unbelievable. Think what about the baby was going through. The reports also say that Gloria was angry about losing custody of her own kids after the grandmother had reported her to the authorities. The fact that she has her own kids, this person has her own kids of her own, it makes this whole thing even more scarier, don't you think? Bo. After that really harrowing trial, it was really surprising what happened next. Doria got 23 to life, which was exactly what sort of judgment Anthony's family were looking for. Oh, and if that prison stretch sound a little short to you, I mean, it might when you first hear it for sure, but get this, Gloria will only be up for parole after serving those 23 years minimum. So her prison term could last even longer than that, which I personally consider a totally good thing. What she did was so unforgivable. I wonder if she will ever make it out of prison in one piece. The Supreme Court judge at the trial, when really seemed to get how messed up she is. The judge said that before delivering the sentence, this is the most disturbing case I have ever presided over. I was once I was watching you as Mr. DeLangelo Castro gave his statement. You showed no remorse. Gloria never spoke to any Anthony's family at once at any point, not even as some last words during the sentencing, not even to apologize or take some real responsibility in person. But Anthony's uncle was just relieved, and he stated justice was served and we got justice. That's all that matters.